What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen and Mentality. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way you get to know when I post all of my tea talks. I hope everyone is doing swell, well, thriving, and surviving, child. I'm still literally getting over this cough. Either I'm getting over this cough or I'm getting a new cold. But either way you look at it, the last 3 nights, I've been NyQuiling up. I've been DayQuiling down during the day. So, just bear with me. I miss y'all. So I just wanted to come on in the room and let's just have a quick tea talk. Let's chat about some things, okay? Go. So, go ahead and get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you sipping on, get it and bring it close. Didn't I tell you to go? Hard head make a soft ass. Where my ruler? Okay, so what time is it? 6:15? Okay, I got a conference call pretty soon. So, go ahead, get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you sipping on, get it and bring it close. So, this tea talk, better yet, this tea talk series, because we've talked about many different things. We've talked about setting boundaries. We've talked about ways to get your power back, ways for you to be more confident, as well as we're talking a little bit more now about you walking in the authenticity of who you are. And so a lot of times that's hard for people. It could be hard for people for a number of reasons. It could be social anxiety. It could just be the feeling of not wanting to experience rejection. It could just also be a thing of you're still trying to learn yourself and discover who you are, and that's totally understandable. So this tea talk here, I know for myself, real life, and even then you can hear it in some of my videos in the past, I was really quick to say that I was a loner. I was a person who was kind of like an outsider, a black sheep, of course. But little do you know, all of those things, when you try to break the cycle, when you do break the cycle, you will realize all those things will help create and evolve you into that person you needed at certain points in life, or just a person just overall just better than who you used to be. So knowing what I know now and me walking in the acceptance of who I am, I no longer look at myself to be a loner. I don't look at myself to be an outcast. Bless you. I don't look at myself to be a black sheep anymore, because it's true. Sometimes, like, the black sheep of the family is really the hero. They're the person who goes through the trenches, so then that way they can fix things that are at the root, versus them just putting a band-aid on it and just bitching and moaning and complaining every single time to be able get off of that. Get off of it. So, you know, we get to those points, you know, and so we need to tea talk about that. We need to tea talk about not you being a lone star, not you being a loner, not you being a black sheep. We need to talk about, you know, you coming into however you are, extrovert, introvert, in between, you name it. But instead of us labeling ourselves to be someone who is isolated and alienated, let's talk about us walking in our strength, even though we may just be lone wolves, okay? And I like using that more than I like using lone star now, because it's not so much of it being a thing of I don't want to deal with people because people don't know how to treat me. If you let any and everybody, a mix of any and everybody, come across your path, and you give them all the same availability with no boundaries set, it's always going to seem as if like they're miscellaneous people, etc., etc., that you're around and you get to know. And sometimes when we aren't around those people and our phone does not ring, that's when we really come into understanding what and how we really walk. Sometimes we want to be around people. Sometimes we just want to be social when we want to be social. And then there's sometimes where there's people who are people. They like to say they're people person. But sometimes you got to check, why is that so? Because if an answer is, I'm happy if you're happy, is an answer you receive, that's such a red flag. You have to be able to be happy for yourself just as much as you walk your walk. Okay? No one can walk your walk for you. You have to do it. No one can fuck your walk up for you. You have to do it. No one can make anything possible on your walk. You have to do it. So, let's talk about just overall the elements of coming into that lone wolf era. All right. A lot of times when I was going through it, there was a couple of different points that stood out to me, a couple of different things and practices that stood out to me. And so I'm gonna tell you like this. I wrote it down because it came to me so fast. Okay, so when I was talking in my Lone Star video, I talked about how some people prefer to be by themselves, stay to themselves. They prefer solitude, right? It cuts down on the drama. It cuts down on the feelings being hurt, the rejection. It just cuts down on a lot of negativity if that is what you typically experience, all right? You have self-sufficiency. It's always good when you can count on you, because unfortunately not everyone's going to have our back. When we think like black sheep, when we think like lone stars, we think like we're lonely. We already think that way, and it's not even so much of us thinking that way, it's feeling that way. That's what makes us think that way. And so it gets to a point where, you know, you choose people being honest over them being loyal, because you feel like if someone can be honest with you, then it'll be up to you if you want to deal with them, right? If it's up to you if you want to deal with them, what would be the reason why you wouldn't? Is it because you say it's your anxiety? Is it because you're an introvert? Is it because, you know, communication is complicated for you on a certain level to converse? Say it. And then most importantly, I used to say that me being a lone star, me being someone to myself, was because I was a leader, as I am, in my own lane. And then on top of that, I was just self-motivated. You know, no one had to put a battery in my back to do things. Life did that on its own, regardless of what it threw at me, okay? Life has its trials and tribulations. It's how you maneuver that will help justify what your outcome is. So, knowing the idea, hearing and seeing the perception as to how I felt when it came to what I was pretty much looking for. And the crazy thing is that I was looking for it through everyone else, until it was that time frame where it's just like, you know, you wake up one day and things click. And when they click, you realize it's just like you getting on to the other side. You're moving to the other side. You're understanding within your maturity of your journey what things really mean. You know, it's just like you learning the word apple, but then down the line, as you learn, you realize it's a fruit. And then you realize you can do a lot of things with apples. You see what I'm saying? You gather more knowledge as time goes on. And how you decide to insert it and use it is totally up to you. So, moving in my authenticity and accepting how I am, these are the things that now I see to be superpowers. And that is the thing about this series. It's for you to understand the things deep down where you may not think they are. Okay? So, at one point in time, I felt like, being that I have social anxiety, I didn't like to be around a bunch of people, not too many. And it was the limited social interactions on a negative side that had me feel like, you know what? it's just easier not to deal with it versus just grow, learn boundaries, reinforce them. And if I don't want to be bothered or deal with someone, I have every right. I am totally validated. And why not everybody is someone's cup of tea. All right. When you walk in your strength, what you talk will be strength as well. It's like, look, someone that just treats you like a speed bump, that's not how you like to feel. So instead of you thinking like you got to be a part of every group, every society, how about you just focus on adventures and excursions that will help you learn more about yourself. Okay, sometimes it is okay to do solo ventures. Sometimes it is okay to limit your social interaction, especially when you already know what's out there and what you're not going to stand for. All right. So for you to be a lone wolf, understand that don't mean that you can't provide for yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't look out for yourself and protect yourself. We all know wolves can be very vicious beings. But at the end of the day, if you don't fuck with the pack won't fuck with you. All right. Literally, when you see a wolf, bitch, you know that's the bottom line. You see a tiger, bitch, you know that's the bottom line. You see a bear, bitch, you better not turn your back. You know the bottom line. All right. So it's healthy for you to sift through, to filter who it is that you feel is close to you. Because sometimes we have so many people so close to us, and it's because we have our eyes on them. Too many eyes. We have too much invested in if they're going to do us wrong or not. So understand, you limit your social interactions for the betterment of the energy that you want to have. Good people will come to you. You don't have to go out and find and search and beg for them. They're going to appear on your journey when you need them the most. All right? So that's it. Secondly, don't feel bad because lone wolves, their reason for preferring solitude is because they don't want to deal with drama. They want to avoid conflict. Okay, sometimes it's to avoid rejection, and then there's sometimes it's because you just want to live life the best you possibly can, and the best way you can live it is with little to no rejection. Totally understandable. At the end of the day, a wolf may get bit, but it's not going to stop fighting. So we have to keep in mind that even though rejection, conflict, and drama are things that we don't want to be part of and participate in, there's still a tribulation of life. All right? Wolves get into it for a piece of meat every day. Alaska, wherever else in the world, you name it. I'm pretty sure there's not near one pack on this earth that can sit here and have a voice and tell you they have not got into it. They have not gotten into it with anybody. Because they will. If they have voices, the damn sure will. I will hope so. My voice is almost gone, so I'm going to hurry up. All right. Before I accepted my superpower of being a lone wolf, I used to really feel some type of way about being non-resourceful. I had to learn how to be resourceful, because when you can't be self-sufficient, when you can't make ends meet, make things make sense, if you need assistance in any retrospect about anything, you have to be able to learn how to rise up from that and continue. I want to say continue to hunt. Those are just the words I hear in my head. But continue in life, yes. Because, if you think about it, we have to hunt for ourselves just to learn who we are. We got to go through what we don't like and learn autonomy about what we want to be able to say something is good for us and it can stick around. I feel like before we accept it as a superpower that we can be resourceful, we get discouraged when we hear 1 to 2 to 3 no's. When really, if you keep in mind, one yes makes a huge difference. So whether it being because of environment, whether it be because of finances, whether it be for the fact of you don't know what is out there, let this be a sign to you. Google whatever you need to Google. Make a list. Call it. Make sure the phone numbers are real phone numbers. Talk to whoever's at the front desk. But you got to get to a point where if it was to all be on your back, what would you do? Okay? There's been times, especially in my college years, where it was hard. It was tight. I was paying tuition. I was going to school. I was paying a house full of bills. And so I had to really get smart about things, whether I needed it or not, and where I needed the extra help. And so once I start allowing myself to feel like I was worthy of assistance, of some type of help, even if it was just like a support group once a week, it was better than me feeling pitiful for myself, as if like I'm going to sink, I'm going to drown, and that's going to be the end of myself. It's not. You know, a wolf can very well have puppies today, but they gonna damn sure go out and make sure the motherfuckers eat. And so they have to be resourceful on where they go and find their food. Same thing. You got to be resourceful on how you live. It's okay for you to be by yourself, but you still got to be able to protect yourself, feel for yourself, do for yourself. And then, of course, the last one I have is instability. That goes into the non-resourceful. Okay? When you're non-resourceful, it instantaneously creates instability. And when you're not stable, you won't feel safe. So many times over, people may very well stick to the rivers and lakes that they used to. Didn't I tell you to stop eating that? What'd I say? So yeah, so when you're not stable, it's hard to feel like you're secure and you're safe. And if you don't feel like you're secure or you're safe, it's kind of hard for you to feel like, you know, you're self-sufficient. Didn't I tell you to stop eating that? Thank y'all for my birthday wishes. Let me show y'all. He over here eating a little confetti off of this child. Just as slow as he want to be. I swear my cat's on the spectrum. So yeah, thank you for all my happy birthdays. It's crazy because I never thought I would see 36 because no one was betting on me to make it this far. But you see how the Lord work? You see how the Lord work? He look out, he provide. In the words of my father, you mind your business, you'll live longer. It's okay. You can mind your business and stay to yourself as long as you know you got you. Look behind you, look over you, look in front of you. Only me is here. So that's who I got to look out for. Point to the blank to the period. One of my instructors said something very interesting the other day. And it really goes to show you why it is we make so many mistakes in life. Me included, okay? She said, you know, we like to think in the past when we really should be thinking forward with the possibility. You know, anything is possible. I did a video on that. Anything's possible. I'm possible. That's what impossible means to me. I'm possible. I can possibly do anything I want to as long as I set my mind to it. And it's the same thing. When we think like, oh, you start a new job. Well, I hope it's not like how the job was when I left. I hope the people are nicer. See, you're thinking in the past. You need to be thinking forward. You need to be thinking about the possible. I love my staff that work with me. Because literally I remember the time frames where I didn't even get not even a birthday card. And here it is. I'm sitting here with almost a dozen birthday cards. It's the feeling for me. It lets me know that even though I'm a lone wolf, you know, they respect me. Alright? When you respect a pack of wolves, you don't fuck with them. You try not to be seen in a wildlife sense. But needless to say, it makes a difference on how you think when you talk out loud and you move forward. You know, if you think your future job is going to be a little bit better than your last job, but you still think you're going to have the same fuck ups there, moving forward, you're already screwing yourself up. Alright? When you think with the possibility that something can be better for you, and you count and you double down on yourself, it's okay if you leave whatever behind. It's okay if you leave whatever to the side. As long as you know that stability, being resourceful, being confident, being stable, feeling able to do anything, that's no one else but you. Whether you do it with a crowd of people, whether you do it with just a few people in your flock, or you literally just be a bird that sticks and hangs with their own feathers. Anything is possible as long as we know that we have the power to do so. Some people do better when they walk in packs with other people. They all got the same purpose. They got the same drive and motivation for things. And then there's sometimes where, you know what? Sometimes you just got to make your own way. It's okay. So, y'all tell me down below what y'all think about this. I think being a lone wolf is definitely an introvert's superpower. Dead ass. So, yeah. This is the elevator version of the Lone Star video. So, I want y'all to tell me down below, what is one of y'all superpowers? Like, I have a student, right? And of course she has hearing aids. But it's too funny sometimes when I try to get the class together. And when she's in her own world, like when she's focused and she's getting things done, she turns it off. She turns them off. So she doesn't hear anything. She's focused. She's concentrating. All of that. No problem. And it was one day I was going to go say something to her. And I just noticed she was just looking at me. Like she didn't hear me. And then I saw when she tried to put her hair behind her ear. But then I saw the green light on. I said, did you just turn your hearing off on me? She was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I said, it's okay. Girl, that's a superpower. That's a whole, sometimes I wish I could just click up. No, you ain't freeze, you ain't buffer. That was me. So that's what had me thinking about this series. Like I told her, like, that's a superpower. You don't have to listen to something you don't want to listen to. You don't have to take in anything that they say about you. You are secure in who you are. So with that being said, shoot, click up. I'll do the same thing. I don't even need the aids. I'll click up. That's her superpower. Instead of her feeling like she has hearing loss, instead of her hearing the words of she's deaf, no, you got a superpower. And in these days and ages, you need to learn how to cut things off and not let them fester and go in your ears and get in your brain and pay no rent, no first month's rent, no deposit in your head. And ever since I said that, I mean, when I say she is just as chipper as she should. And the same goes for you. So, y'all let me know down below. Come here. Come here. You better lay low. Hey. We want to say happy early gobble gobble. Happy early gobble gobble. Alright, so I'm going to try to do some videos while I'm out of town. So yeah. But, yeah. Tell them, say hi. Say happy gobble gobble. Alright, y'all. I need to go take some NyQuil. Alright, so be sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell down below. So then that way you get to know when I post all of my tea talks with my cat. Yeah. Outside of that, I hope y'all all do well. Stay safe, stay warm, be appreciative, and walk in your authentic self. I think that's my closing church announcements. I'm going to feed you. Just give me 2 seconds. Don't be a nigga. Just wait. You alright? So, until next time, y'all, take care of one another, and I will holla at y'all later.